There
hear
we go.
anything.
No, they're
Yeah.
muted. Oh,
Yeah, they're good.
Never
All
mind.
right.
Thank you.
We'll do that again.
Yes.
From the top.
Okay. Welcome to the Capital District Regional Planning Commission on December 21st, 2022. This meeting can be streamed through YouTube at Capital District Regional Planning Commission channel. Attendance, roll call. We do have a quorum, so I'm going to go through each county. Bruce. Here. County of Bruce. Albany County, Bruce. McKnight. Nope. Not here. Larry Stillinger is here. Yep. Kristen is here. Rensselaer County, Bresler.
I'm here.
Shaughnessy.
He's absent.
He's absent. Stammel, here. Malone, here. Okay, Saratoga County, Grasso.
He was just called. He said he was on. That was him just calling. He said he was on and got kicked off.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Okay, so he's.
there
somewhere.
yeah,
Open Pines,
Somewhere.
not here.
Here.
She's attending online.
Online.
Mhm.
here.
Jason, Agatha,
She's absent.
I'm here. Schenectady, Ackerman, here. Hogan Camp is,
I'm
Online.
here.
hey, thanks, Dave. Gary Hughes, here. Barbara Morrow.
Barbara Morrow is online.
Online, okay.
And we have a new member. It's a good segue.
And we do have a new member, Charles Davidson from Schenectady County. Welcome aboard. Why don't you just kind of give us an overview as to who you are and what your interests are?
Thank you. So I'm obviously with Schenectady County. I am employed out of the county manager's office. My title is that of a sustainability coordinator. So my interests obviously involve the world of sustainability. So whether it's getting electric vehicle charging stations on county properties, which we've been doing, electrifying our fleet. I think we're still in the process of converting our streetlights to LED lighting, things like that. So that's what my interests are, and I've worked with CDRPC for some other projects. So yeah.
Super.
Thanks for having me on board, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you
Okay.
to Gary for shepherding such a good appointment.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
yes. Definitely.
They also serve who simply shepherd.
Okay. Thank you, Charles. Item 3, recognition of Mike Stammel, all his service that he's giving to us. You want to read this? Because if I do, we probably won't get out of here.
Yeah, I'll provide an overview. And thank you, Mike, for your 20 years of service. When you started on the CDRPC board, I still had hair in my head. That was 20 years ago. So the whereases, obviously the Regional Planning Commission appreciates, Mike Stammel's service. He was appointed to the Regional Planning Commission in 2002. And he served as an officer of the commission, serving as the chair in both 2009 and 2021. And therefore be it resolved, the Regional Planning Commission does hereby pause in their deliberations today, December 21st, 2022, to honor and commend Michael Stammel for his 20 years of dedicated service to the communities and citizens of the capital region. And be it further resolved that a copy of this proclamation and a plaque in recognition of his service be provided to Mike Stammel by the commission as symbols of appreciation.
Wow, surprise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your service. All right, we need a photo op with the presentation of the.
Just want to say thank you to the board overall, and this has been a great opportunity. I enjoy being on the CDRPC and probably one of the most active committees. Very good. We did a lot of things accomplished.
You want to go take a
That's yours.
Sure, I'll go over there.
Or maybe against the blank wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way we can Photoshop anything we want to in the back.
I've seen it all. And been part of it.
I have perhaps.
Mike, I'm honored to Thank you for your service in the valuable aspect at the short time that I've been here. You've always answered the questions and you've stepped up everything. Never asked for.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. Thank you for the work. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Here, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm surprised. Let's set this back here. Don't want me-
Thanks again, Mike. Okay, we're going on to item 4, accept the October 19th, 2022 hearing and meeting minutes. Everyone has a copy of them. Do I hear a motion to accept?
Second.
Okay,
Figure it.
thank you.
No,
Gary?
there was a note, he had a question because you had an asterisk saying formal board action anticipated. We didn't have to vote on the proclamation.
Yes, yep.
Oh, we
It's a
did,
proclamation.
Oh.
so we
Yeah,
skipped that. So
that's
hold
right.
on.
Well,
Hang on, Mike, we haven't passed it yet.
Hang on, Mike.
thank you.
Do I hear a motion to accept?
We should all move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Julie. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. No questions? Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Okay, number 4, back in order here. Accept the October 19th, 2022 hearing and meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. We have second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it's passed. Okay. Going into our financial statements through November 30th.
On revenues and expenses, we're tracking at 84.5% the budget. PAR is 91%, so we're doing under on both. We have $380,000 in the bank with $240,000 in receivables. So from a cash position, we're in very good shape. Any questions?
We'd not be able to see it.
Oh, sorry.
But it fits on the page.
It does fit on the page.
We should get
Everybody has-
CDRPC branded magnifying glasses.
Along with the plaque. Do I have a motion to accept? Thank you, Gary. Do I have a second? Thank you, Willard. Any questions or comments?
I just wondered, Mark, you mentioned to me that some funds would be transferred for legal expenses because of that TDY, TI incident.
Mhm.
Do you have an idea at this point of?
So the only funds, and I'll explain it in the budget, that would come out of our fund reserve is the money to pay for our communications consultant. Legal fees will be covered by our operator, Berkshire Farm, from their insurance policy.
That's been fairly smooth, so. On those grounds, do I hear a motion to accept?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Danny. Jerry. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Do I hear any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 6, which is our 2023 proposed capital district original planning committee budget memo 2225.
Right, so our budget in total is 7.5% less on the revenue side than our last year's budget. That's due to the exhausting of our CARES Act revenue and an end of our administration of the clean heating and cooling program through NYSERDA. Our request to the counties remain flat at $215,000 with the 2020 census numbers coming out. There is an adjustment whereby Saratoga County kicks in more money than the other counties because their population grew faster than anybody else's. A couple other highlights on the revenue side. We are anticipating that we will spend $85,000 in our broadband money that we got through the Northern Border Regional Commission in 2021, subsidizing some of our staff work and other contractual obligations, hopefully including helping out Saratoga County and the other counties. On the salaries line, FTE stays at 9, including replacing our data services coordinator. And in addition, the salary line includes proposed salary increases to try to keep pace with inflation so that we can ensure we have a talented staff in our workforce. We anticipate continuing with 1 in-person workshop. Thankfully, this year we did really well, and thanks to Martin, had a revenue neutral or a minor profit in our in-person workshops, and sponsorships and ticket sales. The computer supplies and software will remain the same. We will be investing, as the board approved, in a new telephone and internet system, which will be installed next week. And that will increase somewhat our telephone and internet services line. But as we are traveling less, it balances out with the reduction, sort of overall reduced what our historical spending has been on the travel line. There is in fact a proposed increase in the travel budget line because it's tracking more to the actual miles that our outreach teams are traveling. So they have, with MacArthur returning to the Philippines, they've returned to going to night meetings all over the Capital District and beyond. So their travel budgets is increasing. Health insurance costs are based on the actual NISHIP rates and anticipating conservatively that the new hire would be on a family plan. So, cost of health insurance is continuing to increase a pace, but it is covered by our fringe rate that we do charge on all of our grants.
And a question for the health insurance. Did we shop around for other insurances? Because I'm going through this with my unions now in the city, and that is the most expensive. It's going up dramatically more than anybody else. I was just wondering, did we do any shopping around, or are we just rolling this over?
Well, we voted to participate in NISHIP, or at least become a member, and NISHIP offers something like 6 insurance plans. And so this budget is based on the most conservative scenario, which everyone chooses the most expensive plan offered by NISHIP. That right now is not the case. We have employees that choose a CDPHP plan, and we offer MVP, Empire Blue Cross, Emblem Health, I believe, and all of those have different benefit levels.
Would it in the future be something that we would consider just trying to stay with one rather than there's so many different carriers?
So the NISHIP program is essentially the health insurance provider, but under NISHIP, they offer all these other insurance that we're required to offer to our employees. That's part of the package.
The 29,000. I just don't. I know it's a big jump, compared to any other insurances that we carry in this, where I am, and it's. For us, it's mandatory because it's part of the union in some cases. I got to get it out of the contract, but that's a pretty big jump, 29 grand for that.
It is, it's something that, again, is covered in the fringe rate that we charge our agencies.
It's a lot of money to use elsewhere.
It's a lot of money, but that's sort of what is the story of the health insurance world at this point, increasing costs every year. And again, it reflects the most conservative estimate of what our staff in the scenario could be vis-a-vis healthcare and health insurance. So likely it will come in less than what is projected.
I'd like to see that. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I always like to see a sharpened pencil, Mike. Okay, is there any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the proposed 23 budget?
So.
Thank you, Gary. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. On second. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Is there anybody who is opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. Thank you much. Okay, going on to item 7, our 2023 meeting schedule. Memo 22-26.
All right, so this proposed schedule eliminates one meeting. Hopefully we'll increase our chances of achieving a quorum next year. So instead of having a March, May, and July meeting, I propose having an April and June meeting in their place. The June meeting is actually a much better time to work on or adopt our preliminary budget request to the counties. Because I was finding that the July meeting timeframe, we come in that process a little late. So if we work on it in June, it's actually better timing. There's no compelling reason really to have a meeting in March and May. But maintaining that summer meeting and hopefully being earlier in the summer, we're less likely to run into people's vacations in July, so. That would be my proposal, and this was the same meeting schedule that was adopted by the CDS.
That sounds good. Is there any questions?
So it's the December 20th, that's a tough one to move, isn't it, because of the issues that we have to address in
Right.
December?
So the adopting the budget's a big thing and saving the officers.
Yeah. That's almost impossible.
Well, we got enough here today.
And we'll continue to
We'll
get better,
continue-
right?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
I will have it on my calendar.
good. Okay, do I have a motion
So
to
moved.
accept? Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Don. Is there any questions? Other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Thank you. Is there any opposed at all? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. Item 8, report from our nominating committee, the memo 22-27.
Right, thank you to the members of the nominating committee, Judy, Barbara. Mr. Albany, Kristen? Were you on the nominating committee?
I was,
Larry Schillinger on the nominating committee for Albany County. And Jackie, right?
I was.
Craig.
You were close.
50%
Come on.
So thank you for your work to corral and on to us people. And the slate of officers presented by the nominating committee is Chair David Hogenkamp of Schenectady County, first Vice Chair Larry Schillinger, second Vice Chair Jackie Stallone, and incoming Secretary Treasurer Joe Grasso from Saratoga County.
Super. Okay, do I have a motion to accept?
I'll second.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Judy. All in favor? Aye.
Gary.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carried.
So we have an option to retire into executive session to discuss any legal matters. If people have questions, if not, I think we can bypass the executive session, but I want to just ask the room, see how you feel about it.
Is there any questions concerning executive session going into it?
Has there been any changes from the discussions we've had personally?
Not yet, nope. This is not confidential information. We've notified our insurers about a potential of pending litigation. We've been in contact with Berkshire Farms litigator who's been appointed by their insurance company. We are indemnified by our operator in these cases. So, as I mentioned, the bill ideally won't cost us anything out of pocket. We're covered either by Berkshire's insurance, or if there's some issue, we do have our own insurance that would cover the situation.
So I think we're kind of in a waiting mode right now.
Yep.
so-
So, but we're not going to be left scrambling.
Right.
And we're prepared.
I want to thank Mark has been a huge asset. Because he spent a lot of time. He's gotten distracted, but he's kept the board pretty well informed. There's been a lot of transparency within, and I want to thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Rule number 1 is no surprises. right?
Exactly. We're trying to be just as transparent, but offensive too. Effective. So, okay, we're seeing that an executive session is not needed. We're going on to item 10, which is our staff report.
Right, yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff since we last met. We had 200 people register, which maxed out our attendance at the planning and zoning workshop. People are aching to get back in person, so hopefully that bodes well for you, Jason.
The numbers just went out last week, so the registrations are being about 130. So.
Great. And you have electronic registration. Welcome to the 21st century.
I know, we're getting there. We've got that before we do that. Valentine's struggling with it, but we got it.
And we were pleased to make our 2022 Erastus Sporting Awards, recognizing CDTA for their bus rapid transit, Schenectady County for their solar energy consortium, and Albany County and partners for Capital District Community Energy. All really solid intermunicipal and partnership projects. We continue to work on our broadband initiative. You'll be hearing from us, and we've been working directly with the counties at the behest of the New York State Connect All office to facilitate a process by which counties and other stakeholders can start contesting addresses listed on the FCC broadband map. That map will be used to determine the allocations for broadband build out to each state. So it's in the interest of the state and the interest of the counties to make sure that the FCC map is accurate. Because any address that is identified as not having a connection that was corrected means an extra $5,000 for the state. Roughly. We're on track to basically exhaust our CARES Act subawards by the end of this calendar year. I believe we're close, Kate, correct me if I'm wrong, providing all the 200,000 out to our county economic development agency partners. So that's a good success. We still have not received the final decennial census numbers, so there's nothing to report on that. We are in the process of onboarding a new GIS and data person. So at our next meeting, after they've given their acceptance letter and they start to be onboarded, I'll be able to announce who they are. And we're excited to have them on board. There's a lot of upside potential, either through our technical assistance program and other programs that we offer. And that data person will play a key role in that regard. We continue to work on our Clean Energy Communities program and Climate Smart Communities program. Indeed, again, under Todd's leadership, our deployment of the program is being used as a model across the state in helping other regions stand up their programs and outreach. And we are ahead in many program elements, including helping communities develop resiliency plans, way ahead of any other group that's doing this across the state. We continue to work with our direct technical assistance program. We likely plan to start working with the town of Niskayuna Union, Schenectady County, doing some work on their comprehensive planning process. In addition to working with the town of East Greenbush on their national natural resource inventory to bring that online. EDA funding, there continues to be rumors of additional funding coming through the EDA from this latest federal spending and infrastructure bill. So we will continue to monitor for those opportunities. Kate Maynard, our Economic Development and Planning Director, is working apace to revise and update our comprehensive economic development strategy. We have to do that every 5 years. We're updating it to be less of a tome of data and policies than a 15-page overview and sort of distillation of regional priorities for economic development. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel here. We're just looking to put a mirror on what everyone else has done in terms of economic development priorities in our region, and use this document as a launching pad to steer federal resources into our region. So thank you, Kate, for working on that. I hope to have that able to be presented to the board for action either in January, but more likely in our April meeting. We are continuing to promote activities related to the Northern Border Regional Commission. The town of Glenville recently received almost $275,000 for a water main infrastructure project from the Northern Border Regional Commission. And again, we're spreading the word and getting the word out because it is significant amounts of money for relatively flexible projects that we can help tap into there. Kate is still working to expand our foreign trade zone. She's been in conversations with a number of businesses, so hopefully we can get another operator in the next calendar year. And Martin Daly, who's our water quality director, is also in the initial stages of working with partners to talk about regional solid waste. So we only work on the sexy projects, youth detention, poop in the Hudson River, and solid waste. But we have clean energy and economic development.
Well, we have good contracts.
Right. So Martin is finalizing his work on the Watervliet and Tomahannock reservoirs, source water protection plans, presenting those to those communities for action relatively soon. The CSO numbers and where we are with that program is in your packet. If anybody has been to Lincoln Park recently, the majority of the construction for that huge facility is primarily complete. It's all buried and it's almost ready to go online. Is it going to be online before this recreation season, Martin, or next year?
Unfortunately not, and we've been in communications with the department about delays that the water board has experienced from supply chain issues to materials and electrical equipment and delays relating to being able to get enough contractors on the site. So it will not be open for this recreational season, but we have been in communication with DEC, and Albany Water Board submitted a request to DEC to obtain forbearance or to modify the order's deadline for that project completion. So we're optimistic we can work through. We're just unfortunately not going to be in a position to deliver that according to the time that we negotiate in the order.
Thanks, Martin. On the human services side, the closing for the DASNY financing portion for the facility expansion improvement project was yesterday. So all told, the expansion and improvement project is $22.8 million. We have a building superintendent, construction superintendent appointed by our construction manager, and they hope to get shovels in the ground in late January or early February, according to our schedule. And the construction timeline will be roughly 24 to 28 months from the start. The financing for the project, Albany County is going to be funding about $6 million of the project with money that they had bonded back in 2018, with the remaining 16 or so million dollars funded through the DASNY bond issuance that happened last week. 83% of the project is reimbursed by the state, and 11% will be a local share. Our Capital District Youth Center will serve as a pay agent to monitor that 11% local share. Albany County will be on the hook to pay the debt service in the first instance, and then seek reimbursement through the state and from the other counties for the debt service. We will have a construction draw account at DASNY and with Albany County to pay for construction services. We will draw down Albany County $6 million to pay for construction first, and then start tapping into the DASNY financing second. Prime contract awards were approved by Albany County at their December 5th board meeting. So on track for that, but it's going to be a fun time over the next couple of years.
Sounds good, Mark. It's been a long haul, but it's starting to happen.
And I'd just like to thank the staff here. Everything that we do and all the things that we do that are good in the report are a result of their hard work. So thank you very much to the staff.
That's a great point, too, Mark. He's here as a board, but the inner workings of the group really comes from our staff, and they really accomplish a lot. And I want to thank you all for your help, because we couldn't do it without you. There's no way. So I agree.
Yeah.
Yep, they are.
Their professionalism shows through everything.
Yeah, and I've heard some excellent things in the background about them, and their data collection is fabulous. All their projects is a lot of projects that they monitor well. So I want to thank you all.
Well, thank you, Craig, for your leadership over the past year as chair.
Thank you, and
thank you to also Scott. This is his last meeting.
that's right.
He'll be retiring to the New York State Legislature. Maybe that's not the appropriate term. He'll be graduating to the New York State Assembly.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. bigger and better things, Scott,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's just good all around.
It is, it's good.
I
Happy.
just want to thank Mike for putting me on the CDYCI Capitol District Youth Detention Center and this organization.
Know where you're going with that.
I appreciated it. No, it's actually been really wonderful learning about all these different planning, opportunities. And it's been really great working with my town planner, being on the zoning board for all these years. And it's just, I believe in where we live. I love where we live. I could live anywhere I want, but I want to live here. And I really appreciate all the work that everybody does. Makes a big difference.
Well, you got a big toolbox now. For you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there any other business that we haven't addressed? Does somebody ask a question, John?
Yes, one business, one item that's not on the agenda, but you have to discuss my performance for the past year.
Oh, that's right.
And
We gotta go into an executive session.
yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you might need a specific number. So the proposed number of the salary increase for my position in the budget, which doesn't necessarily keep pace with inflation, is 5%.
5%. Okay. Gonna go into executives now.
Oh, yes. So I'll put everyone in a breakout room. Martin, you'll have to leave the meeting, but all board members can stay on.
We need a motion.
I
Yeah.
needed a motion for to executive session.
Do I
And this,
have
this
a-
might be the first meeting I actually remembered this part.
Gary and
I'll move it, Greg.
Don.
Thank you, Don. Do I have a second?
And we were all in consensus on the notion that a degree in urban planning doesn't make you an expert in criminal justice. So we acknowledge that it's all above and beyond, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And that you put in extra effort. I know from some of the timestamps on my emails that you either work at night or, you know.
Well, you know, I put the kids to bed and then I pour myself a cocktail.
There you go.
You send out some email.
And the problem, right? You don't get that far, but no. Oh, any other issues that we got on the table?
I'll move to adjourn. I'll second it.
Perfect, perfect. Any questions or comments?
Just thank you to all those who are arm twisted to be here today, make a forum.
Thank you very
It was a
much.
very gentle twist. It was not much of a problem.
All in favor to adjourn?